I would actually beg to differ on that point. I would define actually ASEAN as a community of opportunity for all. Why I say that? Because over the years, ASEAN has continued to communicate the vision, values, and messages through the various platforms and through our various programs and initiatives. For example, if you look at our ASEAN social media website, we have strengthened the relationship with the public through our outreach program, through initiatives like the ASEAN Goes to School, and also through ASEAN Artist Residency program, something that we have come up with in the last 2-3 years. So in terms of outreach, in terms of public education, in terms of public advocacy, I would think that we have done relatively well. Of course, nothing is perfect. We hope to do better. This is why for newly taught programs and activities going forward, we intend to launch the ASEAN podcast series called the ASEAN Champion Podcast, where we will feature inspirational, outstanding ASEAN individuals to share and to spread our ASEAN values and principles. I think on the whole also, ASEAN has encouraged positive dialogues among the ASEAN citizens. For example, through the ASEAN social media platforms, and also our very own forums such as the ASEAN Entities Forum and ASEAN Media Forum. We work with accredited agencies and entities, CSOs, as well as the private sector, foundations, to support grassroots initiatives to better the life of those that we are serving. Especially when we talk about ASEAN having a 650 million population in Southeast Asia. If you have put everything in perspective, I would think ASEAN has think of various existing programs to deliver tangible products and benefits to the people and communities, and thereby offering the community to grow, opportunity for people to excel, and platform for the young people to venture. I think it is important to understand that ASEAN is not an organization or for the leaders or for the elites to get together. It is really about the betterment and the improvement of people in their life. The leaders may get together, they may talk about, they may interface about various initiatives, but at the end of it, they are really looking to make the ASEAN people as the center of all this regional integration effort. I think over the years, ASEAN has supported the well-being and livelihood of the people through providing them access to human development opportunities, promoting and investing in education, and also lifelong learning, human resource training, human development opportunities, and capacity building exercises. So I think all of these have advanced or pushed forward what we call the innovation and entrepreneurship. You are now seeing more women inclusiveness, more women, undertaking financial inclusiveness, grow, women empowerment. Likewise, we are seeing more and more young people adopting entrepreneurship opportunities. So all of these are good signs that ASEAN has done well, giving that platform, giving that framework, giving that policy to let all this opportunity blossom. I think to put it simply, ASEAN is really here to encourage the people to grow by giving access to vocational training, studies, people mobility, and so on and so forth. So, I would really encourage you, as well as those you may wish to access the ASEAN Secretariat website, www.asean.org, or you may want to follow our ASEAN Secretariat social media platforms, from Instagram to Twitter to Facebook. So for all of these updated information and programs that we have offered for growing opportunities. I would actually beg to differ. I would say that ASEAN has already been playing a very critical facilitating role for peace in the region. One of them is through the ASEAN Regional Forum, something that our ASEAN Secretariat colleagues that is in the Political Security Department can verify. They are working very hard on ARF and related issues. Other than ARF, I would think that ASEAN has also established a number of mechanisms and institutions for confidence building, enhanced cooperation, and the prevention of conflicts in this region, including the most important at present, which is the East Asia Summit, EAS, the ASEAN-led EAS. ASEAN has also engaged major powers in the, not just in the region but in the world. In fact, like I say, it is one of the, other than the UN, it is the only international grouping or platform that brings together all the major powers and medium powers together to ensure peace in the region, and in that sense, the greater East Asia, Asia-Pacific region. I would really say that ASEAN's effort to maintain peace is not an understatement. It is not limited to regional peace only, but also within ASEAN and beyond. Because ASEAN shares a commitment to what we call undertake collective responsibility for regional peace, prosperity, and at the same time uphold the principle of what we call the sovereignty, non-interference consensus among the ASEAN member states. So yes, people may say that consensus takes a longer time or decision-making time, but when it comes to agreement or solving, disputes, it has proven to be very effective for ASEAN in the last 54 years to ensure that, one, we undertake consultation, undertake dialogue to resolve matters of difficulties. At the same time, we also make sure that no member states is left behind in terms of decision making, in terms of having their voice heard, in terms of having their policy being pushed forward too. So in that sense, I would think ASEAN has done well. Because we all know ASEAN as a region or as a regional body, it is diverse in the first place. 10 member states, some are growing economically faster than the others. Some are still very conservative. Of course, when it comes to tradition and culture, I would say that many of the ASEAN member states shares a common value in terms of being respectful, for example, family-oriented. There's a lot more common element than we think. Rice, for example. All the 10 member states rice-consuming countries. So this is why ASEAN on the whole, we are also considered to be an agricultural economy in that sense. Batik, we share a common value in terms of batik. Durian. So when it comes to food, there's a lot of commonality. Even for sports, football is crazy in this part of the world. So more often than not, I would think that yes, despite the tradition, despite the history, because some of us have different colonial masters in the past, more or less the culture are still very much similar. And this culture binds us together to build our own unique characteristic. And this is why ASEAN is so interesting. We do not discourage diversity. We are actually here to encourage the growth of one unified community. We want to embrace the differences we want to manifest the growth of each ASEAN member states. But looking forward, while there are indeed differences in terms of geographical landscape, which make connectivity very difficult, in terms of economic development very difficult, on the whole, the idea is to promote what we call a community for all and opportunities for everyone. So ASEAN has intended to make it possible for each member states, each country to join hand in hand and to be in a stronger position together. Taking the COVID-19 pandemic as an example, it has given ASEAN the opportunity to further enhance solidarity, unity, and also at the same time allow ASEAN to quickly adapt to the fast-changing circumstances, to demonstrate how member states have worked together, share info, data in our fight against the virus. I think moving forward, we will continue to keep ASEAN market open for trade, for investment, for economic opportunities, and to sustain what we call the supply chain connectivity. The aim is to develop an ASEAN master plan on the post-COVID-19 recovery, something that the leaders are doing now, the member states are doing now. So I would think that this is very much relevant in our fight against the pandemic. I would think that just like any other organization or businesses or companies, meetings are effective to have discussion and to understand the various and differences in terms of perspective. Likewise in ASEAN, or with ASEAN, which is a very valued element or important element in international relations, talking are relevant or key to achieve an outcome. So this meeting, I would think, are conducted to affiliate consideration, insights to make a holistic view when it comes to making a pushing forward initiative or plans. As I mentioned, to your earlier questions, ASEAN has always put emphasis on consensus building, which is usually derived or delivered through the meetings itself. Through the meetings, ASEAN can address unshared interests that require greater wisdom or diplomacy. So, bearing in mind, no two member states think alike, just as no two people think alike. So it is through talking, it is through negotiation, through discussion, through consultation that we are able to achieve a consensus. And this is how ASEAN has done pretty well in the last 5 decades, 54 years of regional integration.